I wanted to tell a story in miniature without using any character figures, and I came up with this little vignette. It focuses on a Great Escape Games plastic general purpose wagon, and I busted up the underside to give the impression that there's been a pell-mell escape over increasingly rocky ground. The spilled cargo and broken off wheel, which almost fully hangs off the back of the base, further enhances the sense that there was a serious bit of movement before an abrupt stop. By adding tears to the canopy, along with plenty of arrows embedded in the wood, which come from Perry Miniature's 100 Years War plastics, I've hinted, not too subtly, at why such a frantic escape was attempted. This is what's known as environmental storytelling. It's something that's often used effectively in other media, but as far as I know, it's not used so much in our character-focused miniature dioramas. A great example is the opening to Sergio Leone's classic Once Upon a Time in the West. This film builds incredible tension through a spinning windmill blade, which is in need of oiling, a buzzing fly, and the isolated, dusty environment. Yes, there are characters, but they're all practically motionless, more like statues. Alien's opening suggests similar isolation, but in the depths of space, with the Nostromo's computer system flickering on to wake the crew from hypersleep. Video games are also great at environmental storytelling, and the ones made by Naughty Dog are probably the most famous examples. The Last of Us Part 2 even has an abandoned house whose former residents were clearly fans of wargaming and roleplay games, because there's a gaming area and a paint station. My scene's a little nod to such inspiration, telling a tale with no living or dead presence needed. There were no horses, perhaps they somehow ran off or they could have been taken by the pursuers, but the grim pool of blood suggests that the driver may have met a less fortunate end. In all, it's a fairly simple model with a quite quick paint job. I used pigment to emulate a similar dusty environment to the one in Once Upon a Time in the West. To me, a clear red, my go-to for blood, is really the only pop of colour, other than some muted green foliage and a cactus on the base. I've kept everything intentionally ambiguous, and I hope that each viewer imagines a slightly different story behind the scene. Have you ever brought environmental storytelling elements to your models or terrain? If so, let us know in the comments.